Hello everyone. Today we'll have a discussion on influence. So what is influence? Influence is basically um, it's a it's an ability of another person to make to enable to make other person to behave in a certain way that he wants or he desires. So in my experience or my point of view regarding a human influence is that I think most of us are outcome of the influence of people we surround or we choose to surround ourselves with, the influence of our family, the influence of our surroundings. So, and if you look back, even if you decides, even if you want to hang out uh, s- with certain people who doesn't whose character or behavior you doesn't admire, however, due to your friendship you don't, and the way the things he does is not none of your business. However, to maintain your friendship you like to hang out with him, however you don't desire or want his bad characters. But to my knowledge, I think somehow gradually, when you spend a substantial time with any person, you start to adapt, or the vibration of their character starts to inherit in you, which basically is the influence of what he does and what he says. And the very popular or very common example is the influence of our parents. As a kid we always looked after our father, or we look after every child look after their father as a role model, right? He is a hero, and he every time he do something is basically related to impress his father, to get the affirmation or appreciation or approval of his father. We tried since we barely since we barely developed any intelligence. We start to behave in a certain way that would impress our parents. And and it's also very common that when we are under when we're since we are always as a kid, when we grow, we are always guided by our parents. So if we do whatever we are being told, right? So your parents, if you have a narcissistic, psychopathic, or Machiavellian parents, then it's more likely that you will turn into them or one of them. So I have seen a case where the parents always, if a parents always blames his son for whatever he does, or whatever, for his failure, for not doing, he or she is being criticized by his parents, or his parents always expects from her to be or to do something that they want, the kid will obviously tries, and somehow in the way he is influenced by the parents, right? And then it's somehow the product of what they want or they desire their kids to be. So it's what it is. So my point is, Since my school days, I have always been close with one of the teachers in our school. He would tell me that your future or your behavior is on the person whom you choose to stay with whom you choose to hang out. So he warned me to be very careful with the people who I'm dealing with, or with the people who I spend my time. I think in my experience, I had a friend who was I wouldn't say alcoholic, but he drinks a lot. He smokes, and yeah, and well, he smokes and drinks a lot, and he doesn't do any other drugs. And he have a very good behavior. He talks. He has a good sense of humor. So I started hanging out with him. We started exchanging ideas, and gradually, what happened after 3 4 months, something happened to me. I had a bad um I mean I had a argument with my sister, where he, where she criticized me, or criticized me in front of her friend, which really hit my ego. So I was mad. I left the house, and I go to that friend's place, where he was there at home. And now I was mad, I was angry, and I basically, if I wasn't with him, I wouldn't have take this action. So I asked him, let's drink again. Of course he does. He is more like a usual drinker. So he agreed instantly, and we went to the shop. We uh, bought some bottles of beer, and we drunk. And I led whole night a whole night drunk. And next day I regret it. Then I then the resentment made me think that it's literally wrong. If I am, I mean, the thought or the thing that my teacher said to me before, when I was in school, had reflected on me, and it made me put my thought on it. So I started thinking about it. Yeah, he said it right. Now, if I don't get away from this friend, or if let's say, if I keep on continuing hanging out with him, it's more probably that um, I'll be a regular drinker. So since I don't admire drinking, and I don't do, so i I started cutting off from him. I uh, minimize my time or that I spent with him. Did not I did not meet him regularly after that. And now I started focusing on myself. I was sorry to my sister, and we had a very long discussion on that. It was some it was part of my mistake. I think I would say it was because of me only that led to such circumstances. I was being careless, so which later triggered her, and made her say such um, I would say such hurtful things, which eventually hurt my ego. So that's the whole story. I'm the fundamental uh, message or idea behind this video is that we must try to surround ourselves with the people who, or the character who we admired with the people. If we don't have such friends around us or people, we rather stay alone in the room and be yourself. But that's not mean being lonely. It's about you should have the desire to stay solitude, because as when you become lonely, it's, I mean, most of the time, many a times, it's not a good sign. Solitude is different, and loneliness is different. We have to understand, and we will discuss it about in the next video. Thank you.